Welcome back my channel, the 1989 US quarter dollar. Its origins, design evolution, political context, minting history, composition, cultural significance, and its place in late 20th century American numismatics. The 1989 United States quarter dollar. A comprehensive historical overview. The United States quarter dollar, minted in 1989, occupies an interesting position in the long and complex history of American coinage. Though not a year marked by a dramatic design shift or a major monetary policy change, 1989 represents the late stage of a period of stability for the quarter, just before the explosive transformation brought on by the state quarters program of 1999. To fully appreciate the history of the 1989 quarter, one must understand its design pedigree, the economic and cultural environment of the time, the minting process, and its significance to collectors and the public. The design lineage. From Washington to 1989, the Washington quarter's origins, 1932. The quarter, minted in 1989, is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, who won a competition held by the Treasury Department. Obverse. A left-facing bust of George Washington, reverse, pre-1999, a heraldic eagle with spread wings holding arrows and an olive branch. Although initially intended only for the 1932 commemorative year, public familiarity and Treasury practicality helped the design become permanent. Continuity through 1989. By 1989, the Flanagan design had been in use for 57 years. While the design saw minor modifications, mainly adjusting details for striking quality, its artistic core remained unchanged. The 1989 quarter therefore stands as a continuation of one of the most enduring designs in American coinage history. Historical context of 1989 America. Understanding the 1989 quarter requires understanding the moment in which it was minted. Political and cultural climate. 1989 was a transitional year in the United States. George H.W. Bush had just been inaugurated, succeeding Ronald Reagan. The Cold War was nearing its end, and global political shifts, such as the fall of the Berlin Wall, were reshaping America's international worldview. Domestically, the nation was experiencing technological advancement, economic change, and evolving cultural identities. Coins like the 1989 quarter circulated through a society grappling with both optimism for the future and reflection on the past. Economic environment. The U.S. economy in 1989 was moderately strong, although concerns about budget deficits and the lingering effects of the 1987 stock market crash were still felt. Key economic factors affecting coinage included sustained inflation levels that had reduced the purchasing power of the quarter over earlier decades, the continued reliance on copper-nickel-clad coinage, which had replaced 90% silver quarters after 1964 minting. Technology improvements that ensured consistent production quality. The quarter remained one of the most widely used denominations, vital for vending machines, payphones, toll booths, and daily cash transactions. Composition and technical specifications. The 1989 Washington quarter was minted in compliance with standards established in 1965, when rising silver prices forced the U.S. Mint to abandon silver coinage for general circulation. Standard composition, clad quarter, outer layers, 75% copper, 25%. Nickel core, pure copper. Total composition, approximately 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. Diameter, 24.3 mm. Weight, 5.67 grams. Edge. Reeded. The use of clad metals made the quarter more durable and cheaper to produce while maintaining a similar appearance to earlier silver coins. Minting and production of the 1989 quarter. In 1989, Washington quarters were produced at 3 U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, P., Denver, D., and San Francisco, S. Each mint had a distinct purpose. Philadelphia Mint mark. Prol. Primary mint for general circulation. Coins produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1989. Philadelphia quarters were the most common and widely circulated. Denver Mint mark. D-roll. Western region circulation. Coin production. Similar mintage totals to Philadelphia. Denver minted quarters are equally common and carry no premium over Philadelphia coins in circulated condition. San Francisco Mint mark. S-roll. Proof coins only produced proof sets aimed at collectors rather than circulation. The 1989 S-proof quarter features a sharper strike, frosted cameo finish, and highly polished fields. making it visually distinct from circulation strikes. Numismatic significance of the 1989 cart. Collectability. For most collectors, the 1989 quarter is considered common, especially in circulated condition. However, its significance emerges when placed in context. General collectible features represents the final decade in which the original Flanagan Eagle reverse was used. Pre-statehood era quarters are increasingly nostalgic to collectors' high-grade, mint state. Examples can be valuable due to rarity at the highest grading tiers because so many 1989 quarters were minted and heavily used. Pristine examples, especially those graded MS-67 and above, are far less common. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint hold more collector appeal due to high quality and limited production. They often exhibit deep cameo contrasts, making them popular in proof sets. The 1989 quarter in the broader timeline of the U.S. Mint. Toward the end of the Eagle reverse era, only a decade after 1989, the reverse design that had defined the quarter for nearly 70 years was replaced by the State Quarters program in 1999. The State Quarters initiative transformed public interest in coin collecting. Thus, the 1989 quarter sits just before this major redesign, a relic of the long-standing traditional look of American change. Coinage technology advancements. During the 1980s, the U.S. Mint had upgraded many aspects of its production process: computer-aided die engraving, automated quality control, more efficient coin press. The 1989 quarter benefited from these advances, typically showing sharper details and more consistent striking than quarters of earlier decades. Cultural and practical role in American life. The quarter, more than many other denominations, held a prominent place in American daily life during the late 20th century. Everyday utility. In 1989, the quarter was essential for laundromats, public payphones, parking meters, arcade machines, vending machines. Consequently, 1989 quarters saw heavy use, contributing to the scarcity of high-grade surviving examples. Symbolic value. The Washington quarter represented national identity and tradition, continuity in U.S. currency design, the legacy of George Washington's public memory, its unchanged appearance from 1932 to 1998 cultivated public familiarity and trust. Errors and varieties of the 1989 quarter. While the 1989 quarter was mass-produced with modern minting technology, occasional errors occurred. Known error types: not common but possible, off-center strikes. Coin not properly aligned during striking, die cracks or breaks. Raised lines caused by damaged dies, clipped planchets. Missing portions of the metal blank struck through debris. Foreign matter between die and blank. None of these errors are unique to 1989, but examples from this year can be of interest to collectors. The 1989 quarter in retrospect. 1. The end of a numismatic era. While unremarkable at the time of issue, the 1989 quarter now represents a period of monetary and cultural stability. With the explosion of quarter variety that began in 1999, earlier Washington quarters have acquired a retrospective charm. 2. A portrait of pre-digital America. The sheer circulation and importance of the quarter in 1989 reflect a society still deeply reliant on coin-based transactions, long before digital payments and smartphones changed how people handled money. 3. The legacy of the clad quarter. By 1989, the clad quarter had been in production for nearly 25 years, proving its durability and cost-effectiveness. Its adoption paved the way for modern coinage standards still used today. Conclusion: why the 1989 quarter matters. The 1989 United States quarter dollar may seem an ordinary piece of circulating change, but its historical significance becomes clear when we situate it within the broader arc of U.S. coinage. It is a continuation of one of America's most enduring coin designs, a product of late 20th century political, economic, and technological conditions, a representative artifact of daily American life in a pre-digital world, part of the final decade before one of the most important U.S. coin programs ever launched, the State Quarters program. Collectively, these factors make the 1989 quarter a meaningful snapshot of its time. Though millions were minted and circulated heavily, the coin remains a tangible piece of American history, one that bridges the old and the new, representing both the tradition of the Washington design and the threshold of dramatic change in U.S. numismatics.